because there's been some interesting moves. Dollar was particularly weak yesterday, and I'm kind of backing away slowly from that bullish bias I've had. Not really seeing the momentum come into the market. We did break out of that descending channel, but we just haven't seen any signs of continuation really, and that has been the aspect I've been looking for to actually get into some buys for the dollar, because we did have a nice breakout last week, really nice CPI reaction to CPI, and we saw a very big bullish candle breaking to the upside. But the key thing is, there's only just one candle, and we failed to see a continuation of that. And really, I wanted to see a strong move, really telling me that, okay, dollar strength is really coming to the market. Because prior to that, we had a lot of corrective behavior on the way up. This wasn't a move where I go, okay, this looks like a reversal. If anything, that looks like a pullback to me. So I've been waiting for a big breakout, waiting for momentum to really come into the market. We saw a glimpse of that happen on Tuesday last week, but since then the market's been pretty flat, and we picked up some momentum to the downside here as well. And also something which I'm not a big fan of, especially as a bull for the DXY, is the fact that we are breaking, or looks like we're breaking, back underneath support here. So that was the key kind of technical aspect which I was discussing yesterday. So as long as we can stay above 98, I do maintain that bullish bias, and I'm looking for price to eventually break to the upside. We might consolidate for a few days, but eventually I do see us breaking higher. However, yesterday's close was pretty bearish, and it looks like we're just about breaking through. Now, it's not the most confident close. We haven't necessarily broken through entirely, but price is finding success below this support level, and perhaps it could be the start of a down move. And maybe this is going to be another lower high, just like we formed over here. Maybe price does continue being bearish. So I have to be careful here, because despite that bullish bias I have, the market is still bearish. We are still seeing lower highs, and now we're seeing evidence of maybe another one forming as well, especially with that daily close. So unless price does recover this level and starts to show momentum again, perhaps breaks through these highs, then yeah, I would be confident in a buy. At the moment, I'm not confident in a buy, and with a close like that, we might still see some more weakness there for the dollar. So take that into consideration. Looking at EURUSD, which is actually still testing support here. EURUSD never really broke through any key structure apart from the ascending channel. We did break through this, which was a nice confluence, but we didn't really break through any key area of support, resistance, or any major swing low. Price was respecting the support pretty well. We had some momentum yesterday. If I drop to the 4-hour chart, I did say watch out for that counter trend line. Let's see if it can hold. It didn't. Price did break through that. So again, I'm not necessarily looking to buy euro. I do think the market is quite overbought still. We might still find our way to the upside, back to the highs here. Not really a move I'm keen with. Even if I was looking to trade it, I should already be in the trade. I'm not looking to enter now. There might be some lower time frame pullbacks to look out for, but on the 4-hour chart, which is where I do my business, it's a move I should already be in. Not looking to enter now, but there's a strong break of that counter trend line. Perhaps that's a sign of more upside to come. At the moment, due to the successful break and retest of this level here, the fact that we're breaking the counter trend line, this does put the emphasis back on the buyers again. It looks like buyers coming in with some strength, some nice momentum there. I would have to be very careful looking to sell EURUSD. So at the moment in time, unless euro suddenly goes for a big sell like this, cracks through support, cracks back underneath the trend line, then yeah, I would look to sell. But at this point in time, that does not look like a likely move. I would actually favor price climbing higher, possibly to come back and test the highs there, 1.18. So on the lower time frames for euro, I think the better play would just be looking for some pullbacks. If it drops like the hourly chart, you got this area now, which price of course broke to the upside. A pullback to retest that for me looks like the smart move, and continuations off the back of that, and you got some highs there to locate and potentially target as well. So that looks like the smart move here for euro, especially just looking at the DXY, seeing that close back below as well. Looks like potentially some more weakness could be coming to the market. We're seeing some strength for EURUSD. I would say buys look the best bet now for EURUSD, and I think we could see more upside off the back of that. Pound USD, I'm still quite interested in the shorts, but again, seeing what the dollar's doing, not really what I want to be seeing, so I'm going to be careful with the shorts here. I still do like this area, brief area of supply, consolidated there for a few hours before a pretty sharpish break to the downside. We came back into the low. We didn't break structure as well, so that kind of does lower the quality of the opportunity a little bit as well. It will be a little bit, well, actually would be a lot better if price actually broke that low completely and saw some successful candle closures below that to really give us that break of structure, because of course this was the most recent swing low, which gave us the most recent swing high. So breaking structure would really show me that the bears are in control, but we didn't do that. We respected the low. So it does reduce the quality of the setup a little bit. I still do like the shorts, but knowing what the dollar's doing, unless I see very, very good price action, I probably will hold back, to be fair, because again, trading is just about reacting to what the market is providing you. Sometimes the opportunity you might be looking at is no longer as good as it once was. And sometimes the opportunity you're looking at is even better because of something happens. And in this case, it is definitely not as good as it was looking last week. So I'm going to be a bit cautious now with pound USD. I like the area for a sell, but I probably would be just kind of holding back unless I see a very, very good setup in terms of the price action and the candlesticks when we get there. But at the moment, looks like probably some more upside, especially intraday as well. Strong break to the upside. Momentum looks like it's picking up. It would be nice to see a slight deeper correction before continuation, but I do think we'll probably rally to the upside at this point. Dollar CAD, looks like we've seen that shift as well. I think we have broken out this channel to a degree. Maybe not the biggest breakout in the world, but it does look like we're breaking to the downside here. Another one which was respecting price support turn resistance. Excuse me, sneezing again. But yeah, price support turn resistance. Price came back into that area, respected it on, that was Monday/Friday last week. And now looks like price is breaking to the downside. So again, accompanied with the DXY closing below support as well. Looks like dollar weakness is stepping in. We're seeing that with the dollar on the DXY. It looks like we're seeing that with dollar CAD as well. So unless price does break to the upside all of a sudden and gives us that break of structure, because maybe this is still a big double bottom. There's first test, second test. So for me to be looking for swing buys, I do need to see that break of structure, and then the pullback is what I'll be after. At this moment in time, it does not look like we're getting that. And if price does successfully break to the downside here, it does look like we're probably going to head back into the lows here at 1.356. So dropping to the 4-hour chart. Again, in terms of entries, you can look to try and short breakouts. Not really my forte, but I'm not too sure what other entry you could be looking at. I did say it would be nice to see if price can push back into resistance and find a double top there. But of course, in hindsight, we can see that didn't happen. Now it looks like we're breaking to the downside of that channel. I do favor dollar CAD to keep falling here. So maybe there might be some kind of pullbacks intraday along the way there. So might want to keep an eye on that. But in terms of direction, dollar CAD looks like we could be seeing a push back into support at 1.356. And again, it looks like that dollar weakness is coming into play. Aussie dollar is still kind of a mixed bag, but it is kind of respecting the channel, which again, is what's keeping us ascending very, very slowly. So as you can see, the market has been trading in this channel for quite a while. We had an attempt to break through, an attempt to break through last week, which looked like we might get it, but we didn't. We came back within the range here, and price is now back respecting it, and this turned to be another fake out, just like we did not too long ago. So I did say yesterday, if price is going to respect this area, we might see another rally here for Aussie dollar. Nothing I'm really interested in myself, but again, I'm not going to look to short that. The only way I'm looking to short Aussie dollar is if we push to the higher end of the channel, and I can potentially look for some entries there to short it back into the low of the channel. So keeping it very, very simple, but all Aussie dollar is doing is just fluctuating between the high and the low. We've had a couple of attempts trying to break lower. It has been unsuccessful, and if we're going to respect support here, there is definitely distance for us to cover to the upside. So maybe intraday there might be some nice buys. I think if you're looking to take advantage of weakness on the dollar, I'm not sure if Aussie is the best one for it, to be honest. But yeah, I do kind of like what I'm seeing with the rejection there. So I would have kind of somewhat of a bullish bias for Aussie dollar off this area. I think we can see some upside. And then I'll see if we can ever look for some shorts there. That'll be something I'll keep an eye on. And then New Zealand dollar as well, same situation. Price is kind of trading at the low end of this channel. So price has been ascending, back and forth, back and forth. We've pushed into the low of the channel recently. Nice bounce there as well. Again, I would suggest if price was to get here again, this could also be a nice place for a buy. I'll keep it short and sweet because I still do think price can break lower. Again, when price is ascending like this, my instincts is not to follow this trend higher. Let's normally wait for the break to the downside and expect a bigger pullback. That's typically the price action we get. But it has proven to be a very strong level of support, as we can see recently. So if we were to get there again, it would make sense to be looking for some buying opportunities, especially in the lower time frames. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the home run all the way back to the highs. You can be looking for a reaction, just manage the trade closely. Let's see what price gives us. Maybe momentum picks up and we do see a big push. Maybe momentum starts to slow down as we come into resistance and maybe we turn around. Well, if you see some red flags, you can always look to close positions early, move a stop loss to break even, or take partials, however you want to manage it. But it's still a smart place for a buy, especially if you see some healthy rejection there. But yeah, we'll see what we have in store, because if USD is going to be weak, that should help some buys there for New Zealand dollar. But yeah, based on the technicals, I'm not really interested to follow that to the upside. In terms of gold, gold picked up some momentum yesterday. Looks like we are clearing the highs. I'll still be remotely careful with gold. I wouldn't say we're out the woods just yet. Price is still coming back into some resistance. Coming back into some resistance to our left here. But what I would say is we're starting to put in some higher lows in. We've got 1, 2, 3. So there is some consistency now of gold. I've been saying gold's very flat, very choppy, hard to kind of decipher gold in terms of direction. Higher time frames, yes, been very, very bullish on gold. There's no sign of this high time frame bullish trend reversing. So yeah, in terms of the higher time frames, I'm very, very bullish still. In terms of the 4-hour chart and lower time frames, it's been very, very back and forth. And yeah, nothing I'm really interested in, to be honest. But now that we're starting to get some consistency, now we're starting to get some higher lows in. If the market was to pull back again, there's a nice brief area of demand there. That could end up being a nice place for a buy. And again, I wouldn't look for anything too crazy. If we do get a successful retest of this area, I'll probably keep it short and sweet back to resistance, because I wouldn't be too surprised to see gold go and do something like this again. I wouldn't say we're completely out of the woods. This is arguably still a ranging market. There is some type of bullish trend starting to build up momentum there. Yes, I do agree with that. But we still got resistance, and we still got slightly resistance above us there as well. So I'll still be quite careful of gold. Momentum is picking up, which is a good thing. Maybe this does turn into be a big breakout. That'll be great to see. But yeah, you want to be careful as a trader. You're not so much trying to predict the future. It's more so what price is doing now and kind of just managing that situation. It might develop into a big breakout. It might not. Price might smack resistance and come back down. So you kind of want to be prepared for that if it does happen. And again, take partials, can close some of your profits, or at least maybe remove risk, just in case we do come back down. But yeah, gold's picking up steam. I'll keep an eye out for around 33.50. Perhaps there's some buys on a pullback. And as for silver, which again, picking up momentum as well, I think some buys on a pullback look really good here, especially intraday. You got the prior highs there, which I would expect price to go and snap through. We've got 40 just above us, which is the next big psychological level, which I would expect price to be attracted towards as well. There's a nice brief consolidation here, which looks good for a retest, more so like an hourly chart, maybe even like a 30 or 15-minute chart, maybe might be able to get away with. But you can see a nice brief pause in the market, big up move, so we can see a lot of momentum from that area. It's a strong area of demand. If we could see a pullback into that, I think that's a healthy place for a buy, and to take it back into the highs there to finish off that move, and perhaps some higher highs after that point. You do got 40 up there as well. So I quite like what I'm seeing with silver. It's quite straightforward. If you compare the price action with silver and gold, There's a big difference. Silver is currently trending. We're currently seeing a lot of momentum. Gold has done all of that, but now we're still quite sideways. So if I was looking to trade between the two, I'll definitely focus on silver. There's more of an opportunity there. I still like the retest of this area, but at this point in time, it does not look likely we'll get that retest. This is probably the best bet for the next trade. Or if things are just very bullish, you're looking at the breaking retest of the high there and then looking for the next swing afterwards. But either which way, only really looking to buy